to another very special edition of WC McClinton Christian News. My name is Sister Gloria Thomas. I am your host tonight and want to welcome you to the program. And if you can, right quick, call at least 10 people and tell them to turn the TV set on to this station. We have a very special show tonight. I want to begin by saying that we keep you, everybody who watches this show, all our viewers, in our prayers. We trust that those prayers are answered. They're not going to come back void. So if you have a special concern tonight, just think about it and know that that thought has the power to render a prayer that will help whatever situation you might be having or struggling with tonight or today, depending on what time you see this show. So I am very, very excited and happy and just every elated emotion you can think of I have today. I have the privilege and the gift of having a very special gentleman on the show tonight. I want to start by saying he was my advisor at San Francisco State with my master's program. He was also my reader, little term you won't know about, but anyway, go to San Francisco State and get a master's degree in social work and you'll get a reader. And he has, through the years, watched me grow and develop and been very instrumental in my growth and my development. And so I want to welcome Dr. Bobby Walker to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is part two, actually. Dr. Walker, we were on the show last week, and I hope you had a chance to watch, but I'm going to have Dr. Walker really talk the most of this show about some of the work that he's been doing and some very critical developments that are going on that he's instrumental in designing. I want to start off by asking Dr. Walker, though, Dr. Walker, if you could just give us maybe about, if there's a such thing, maybe about 3 minutes on exactly what the word EBONESIAN means.
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm not well practiced at receiving such laudatory comments. And let me spell that word first, because I have discovered that even though I'm comfortable saying it, a lot of people are not clear what I'm saying. It comes from the word ebony, like the magazine Ebony. And that's the root word. EBONESIAN. And that's EBONESIAN is, of course, referring to us as a people, an ethnic group. And the very short point I'm trying to make with it, it is the name that I'm using, and it doesn't have to be the name that everybody adopts, but it's the name I'm using to refer to us as an ethnic group, that's ETHNIC, as opposed to us being a racial group. And the reason why I think that's important, I'll start from the other end, from where I usually start. It's a well-known principle in social psychology that if someone labels you and you accept the label they give you, you become who they said you were in that label. And when you trace the history of the label, a racial label, back to its origin, it is very clear that it's a politically contrived definition began in probably the 6th, 17th century, 16th century, to justify and rationalize our enslavement. And in so doing, they gave us negative attributes and gave, of course, European descendants positive attributes. So what you'll find is people who have been labeled white, whatever their qualifications are, will tend to try and live up to the positive attributes, and people who've been labeled black, who've been given the inferior attributes, will of course live that out very much in their culture. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's important that at least the young people who are listening understand that we need to reject the racial label as invalid. No matter how long we've been using it, no matter how much we are conditioned to using it, progress demands that we take a look at that and move to ethnic group, which, by the way, is what the so-called Hispanics are called, an ethnic group. They're not a racial group, and the Asians are not a racial group. In fact, in the census, you only have two groups, white and black. And if you remove the racial black group, you'd only have people who want to claim superiority as whites still standing. And that's trying to have a hand clap with one hand. They wouldn't be able to do that. So I think for the future and our young people to get away from the negative label that causes us to continue to recycle the negative attributes associated with that particular racial classification. We're going to just have to go to ethnic group. And that doesn't mean we lose our history.
Right.
We just have an ethnic history, which is determined by history and common experience, oftentimes associated with language and food and so forth. But that's the whole thing about Ebonesian. Now, African American, I'd like to add to that, is a suitable name also for the ethnic group. And I could see some healthy debate over whether we'd want to change the name from African American to Ebonesian. And I wouldn't want to argue about that. But the reason I personally did not choose African American, because particularly with so many immigrants coming from all over the world, including Africa, to me, African American has a connotation which I cannot buy into. It means that I'm an American citizen who is culturally oriented to Africa, or Afrocentric. That's the determinant of who I am. And quite frankly, even though I would quickly concede that my ancestors were enslaved from Africa here, I'm very much Americanized. And I think also, I must add to conclude that 3 or 4 minutes you asked me, that what people need to understand is that change is forever taking place, and it's taking place with us.